In the headlines, academic activities yet to resume in some universities after ASU suspends its strike. PDP, APC trade blames over thugs attack in Gusau. Rivers NMA set to provide medical help to flood disaster victims. And on the foreign scene, several blasts in Ukrainian capital after early morning air raids. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. We begin with education, where Secretary General of Academic Staff Union of Universities, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria branch, Dr. Hussein Abdullahi, said the branch supports the suspension of the prolonged strike. Abubakar Sadiq reports that suspension of the strike elicited reactions of lecturers, students, and some shop owners operating within the university campus. Away from that, in politics, the Zamfara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party says it has not violated any law for holding political events to receive defectors from the ruling All Progressives Congress and the inauguration of its governorship campaign council. The state's deputy chairman of the PDP in the state, Mukhtar Mohammed, said this while reacting to allegations leveled against the party by the state government that their political thugs attacked environmental sanitation staff who were carrying out sanitation exercise in the government reserved area in the Gusau metropolis, in which one person is feared dead while about 18 persons were injured on Saturday. The PDP deputy chairman debunked the allegations that the party supporters attacked some environmental sanitation staff where it held their political gathering. The PDP said the Zamfara state government does not have the right to stop political campaigns, given the fact that the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Electoral Act, and the Constitution has given political parties rights to kickstart their presidential campaign on the 28th of September and governorship on October 12th. However, the state deputy governor, Senator Hassan Nasiha, alleged that the PDP members had attacked 18 environmental sanitation staff during the major opposition party political activity in the state.
We had minor skirmishes, starting from yesterday when our gubernatorial candidate came into town. You see what happened. One vehicle was burnt, close to the government house. We also, our vehicles, campaign vehicles were vandalized. Our office, the official office, the office of the PDP was also attacked. Several people were injured. These are things that has happened. We have made report to the security agencies. But basically to us, we just felt, it could have been anybody.
I've gone around within the hospital. I met about 18 persons being shot with different positions. Sporadic shooting. About 18 people were there now on the bed. We have said the government has already announced no any political rally, no any political gathering within the state till after the situation is okay, till after the station is calm. Today is Saturday. Our youth always go to daily sanitation. They don't have a single stick. They are having their brooms, making his weekly sanitation. We are here for the people's property and their life.
Meanwhile, condemnation trailed the closure of some broadcast stations by Zamfara state government. The International Press Institute of Nigeria condemned the action as reprehensible and unacceptable. IPI Nigeria, in a statement signed by its president Muskilu Mojid, noted that the Zamfara state government does not have the power to shut down media houses and calls on the Zamfara state police commissioner not to enforce an illegal directive by the government. Similarly, the Nigerian Union of Journalists asked the state government to urgently reverse what it called the embarrassing error. A statement signed by its National Secretary, Shaib Aliman, said the action is counterproductive in an attempt to muzzle free and independent media which is an essential ingredient of democracy. With the elections just over 4 months away, political players are confident that next year's polls will be largely free and fair despite the tension in the polity. This is mainly because of the 2022 Electoral Act, which they believe has equipped the Independent National Electoral Commission to the legal framework to conduct elections that will be an improvement over previous years. Kehinde Amodu speaks to some political players on how things look as the country counts down to elections.
This is the period in time when many Nigerians feel concerned about the political system because of the rising tensions among players in the electoral race. The language and intrigues in the political system have polarized the electorate along the country's fault lines. However, some politicians believe the tension, language, and agitations are a normal feature in the democratic process.
Some go into campaign of calumny, some go into campaign of issues, some find fault in others, and that is why it's called democracy.
Campaigns must be issue-based. There should be decency in whatever we do or say, so that we do not in any way add to the tension that is already in the country.
They are also confident that elections will hold and will be the best conducted when compared with previous years.
Unlike before, we didn't have the electoral framework we have now in place. We didn't have the kind of enthusiasm that you find in the youth and also women. We didn't have the international community to be as interested as they are in the outcome of this election.
One crucial issue Nigerians are expecting political contenders to the office of president to solve is the problem of petroleum subsidy. The solutions preferred are varied and interesting.
You can say you are going to have an administrative price, which is the subsidized price. You are going to have economic price. The economic price will be paid by those the private consumers, like you, having your vehicles, you travel, you go for visiting friends or holidays or whatever you want to do as a private person. But the commercial vehicles, that if you increase the price of fuel to them, it will have multiplier effect because transportation.
Many political observers agree that Nigerians should watch out for contenders that are suggesting solutions rather than those who are trying to divide the electorate along the traditional fault lines. From the Federal Capital, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The new governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Oyebanji, on Sunday appointed Yinka Oyebode as the Chief Press Secretary with immediate effect. Oyebode served as the Chief Press Secretary to the immediate past Governor Kayode Fayemi. According to a statement by the head of service of Ekiti State, Bamidele Agbede, the appointment takes immediate effect. Meanwhile, the governor has also appointed Habibat Omolara Adubiaro as the Secretary of the State Government. Oyebanji has also frozen all accounts of the state government with immediate effect, adding that all accounting officers and financial institutions are to comply with his directive. The Borno State Police Command said it has incorporated about 1,800 police constabulary to complement the efforts of security agencies in combating crimes in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Abdul Umar, who disclosed this in Maiduguri on Sunday, said the newly recruited volunteers are currently receiving orientations on what was expected of them in the discharge of their duties. Umar said the constables will be deployed to the communities across the 27 local government areas in the state for effective community policing. He said that the community policing constabulary scheme of the force was purely a voluntary service introduced by the federal government to train and incorporate individuals with prior paid employment who desire to spend their spare time assisting the police in its simple police task within their various communities. The Commissioner of Police assured that the men will intensify raids at criminal hideouts and enhance police visibility to deter criminals from nursing the ambition of perpetrating crimes. In crime, hoodlums have reportedly invaded a Celestial Church Blood of Jesus parish in Lokoja, Kogi State, killing 2 persons, leaving several others with injuries. The hoodlums invaded the church on Sunday evening and opened fire at the members who were holding a program in church. The chapel is located behind the NNPC Mega Patrol Station in Felele Axis along Abuja-Lokoja Okene Highway. 2 dead members were reported to have been evacuated from the church and deposited at the Federal Medical Center, Lokoja, and the injured taken to the same hospital for treatment. A few weeks ago, another church was attacked at Serkin Numan around the corridor of Felele area of Lokoja. The police public relations officer, SP Williams Aya, confirmed the incident, saying that 2 female members of the church were killed in the attack. You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. Blacksmithing on the verge of extinction. Do stay.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Now which kind wire you gon' need to light up your life, eh? Oh man, na quality wire. Now which kind cable you gon' need to light up your house, eh? Oh man, na quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman can't. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and be the come and see, come and see. Now come and be the Coleman won't light up your life. Now come and be the come and see. Now come and be the C-O-L-E-M-A-N. Quality, quality. Durable. Oh yeah. Now come and be the Baba.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that academic activities yet to resume in some universities after ASU suspended its strike. We also told you that PDP APC trade blames over thugs attack in Gusau. Moving to more stories, President Muhammadu Buhari has attributed the cause of floods that have so far hit 33 states as well as the Federal Capital Territory to the people's penchant to erect buildings on water channels, disregard for early warning by the National Emergency Management Agency, and changes to weather caused by climate change. In a statement signed by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Garba Shehu, on Sunday, President Buhari expressed sadness at the devastation caused by floods in Bayelsa State and extended condolences to the families of the victims and all those affected by the natural disaster. According to released reports by the state government, 700,000 persons have been displaced in about 300 communities and villages in 5 of the state's 8 local government areas were submerged in water due to rains causing the floods. While the authorities in the state are taking steps to help people hit by the floods, the president has directed that all federal agencies dealing with rescue and disaster management to offer all needed assistance to Bayelsa. Blacksmithing, one of the ancient businesses of Nigerian people, is diminishing due to growth in technological inventions in the country. Though new inventions is a welcome development, but its introduction is not without a consequence for the growth of local traditional industries in Nigeria. In this special report, Salis Lawan takes a look at the ancient business. His report.
In Nigeria, blacksmithing has been a fairly common practice among the various Nigerian people which served as the invention industries where many traditional arts were produced in the past. Its history is particularly evident to the discovery and use of metal to manufacture tools and implements that supported Nigeria and its agrarian lifestyle.
There's nothing we can't replicate here, even planter machine that the Chinese are manufacturing. We have produced it locally, you are a witness. In this job, we create a variety of objects. As you can see, our biggest challenge is that we are not receiving empowerment from the government.
This occupation has come under 10 traits associated with modernity, as explained by these 8 blacksmiths.
As you can see, these are doors and gates. We are also making things like sword, hose, spears, and a host of other objects. We are even replicating some part of motorcycles or cars that their spare parts are hard to find. When we see the samples, we forge them. As you are witnessing, there are more than 1,000 people that their livelihood depends on this job.
If you're talking about blacksmithing, I can confidently say the business is on a decline because it no longer pays like before. I believe technological development has contributed to this. To this end, some young people in the field are bringing new technological innovation to meet up with the socio-cultural change and other current realities that could not be easily ignored in the 21st century. All these things around you were produced by us. Blacksmithing is our heritage and occupation. However, the status of this traditional blacksmithing industry is best described as endangered, as it is currently facing a lot of challenges with the increasing discovery of new technologies. From Yola, Silas Lawan, Trust TV News.
As more residents in flood-ravaged communities continue to count their losses due to the disruption of social and economic lives of the people, Nigerian Medical Association Rivers State Chapter has set up a disaster management committee to provide quick and appropriate emergency medical assistance to disaster victims in the state. The NMA chairman of Rivers State, Dr. Ebby Robinson, said this when members of the association visited some IDP camps in Ahoda East local government area of Rivers State for an on-the-spot assessment. Dr. Robinson said the Medical Association will ensure that the people at camps are cared for medically. He said the NMA also plans to set up a medical camp to various internally displaced persons camps in Rivers State while working to provide clean drinking water to the IDP camps and access to basic free healthcare delivery to the people.
A body of doctors have activated fully the Disaster Management Committee, but we came here as ESCO members to have a first-hand assessment of what is going on in the IDP camps. And that's why we came here to see what is going on, what are their needs, so that we can also help and make recommendations to our Disaster Management Committee on what to come up with so that we can assist them, because We know at this point in time, preventive care is very important. At this point in time, the people in the IDP camps might need good water supply. They might need some form of relief materials. So
all my house, all my property, the water just wanna finish. I can't decide with my children. Nothing there for my hand now.
Now fraud carry me come here. I no get food today, no get house. Nothing there for my hands.
Because not be this fraud way to come for shows like this. This month, the second month, we go bury my husband. My husband there for mortuary. That there for supper now. I don't know how to do. I carry my pikin with you all the way with where they there for my back.
Part of what we have planned is to set up a medical camp in the IDP and ensure that the communicable diseases that are very eminent are being controlled. So we are going to set up our medical camp. That is part of what the Disaster Management Committee that have been activated by the Nigerian Medical Association is going to do.
Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, is a center of attraction for any Nigeria who leaves their community. In this report, they tell Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman what life means to them dwelling in one of Africa's most expensive cities in the face of daunting challenges.
As they move into Africa's wealthiest and fastest growing city, Abuja, Nigeria's capital, citizens from all walks of life come in here with a lot of hopes and expectations. But it is not a bed of roses. As they set in, they face the daunting task and realities of living in a city that is housing over 3.5 million population.
I came from Delta State with the mindset of, since Delta State, nothing is working there, the government, they are not doing anything. So I believe Abuja will be a bed of roses.
Initially, when I entered Abuja, I thought that immediately I enter Abuja, I will make it like other people. But Abuja is very difficult. If you don't work hard, the truth is that you can't make it. So you need to work hard.
I discovered that even what I know, what I've learned is not up to the standard of Abuja. I have to still go and learn more in Abuja. But now, thank God things are moving better. But Abuja is not for lazy people.
How about the dashed hopes and expectations? What about the takeaways and lessons learned? This is what we set out to find out from Nigerians dwelling in the capital city.
Abuja is not really what I've been seeing on TV, print media, honestly.
If you are coming to Abuja, you need to tighten your belt. And whatever you are doing, you have to be serious in doing it.
Be focused and to just have it in his mind that if he will either allow people to make him to be carried away with some fake lifestyle in Abuja.
It's not that if you come to Abuja, you will just come and carry Ghana must go of money. You must work for something before you get money.
As they narrate their experiences, respondents here also highlight the need to address some of the shortcomings to make the city an inclusive city and worth living for every Nigerian. But one thing that is certain is for anyone coming into the city to realize that there are fundamental requirements. Getting the basic necessities such as mobility, accommodation, and a sustainable job is also very imperative. From Abuja, Nigeria's capital, Shafi'u Suleiman, Trust TV News.
The Nigerian Correctional Service has appointed new heads of command for the Federal Capital Territory and the Kuje Custodial Center as part of the routine deployment to maximize the potential of command officers. The FCT command is now headed by Controller Muhammad Isa. He succeeds Controller Ahmed Musa, who is now deployed to head the nominal role unit at the national headquarters of the service. In Kuje, Deputy Controller Kolawole Sunday takes over from Deputy Controller Ibrahim Shea, who is moved to the headquarters of the service as well. A statement signed by the Assistant Public Relations Officer, FCT Command, Usman Sani, notes that the change in baton came from the Office of the Controller General of the Service, Halliru Nababa, to boost the efficiency of men and officers of the NCOS. Addressing the personnel, the new commander, Issa, said the change in leadership shows the high level of discipline in the command, which should not only be maintained but be improved upon. He assured that he would continue operating an open-door policy with staff and the public in order to ensure that the job of corrections is carried out to the latter. And finally, away from Nigeria, there have been several explosions in the central district of Ukraine's capital. According to Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, the blast hits the Shevchenkivsky district of the capital early on Monday and damaged a number of residential buildings. He said rescuers are on the site, adding that as a result of a drone attack, a fire also broke out in a non-residential building. There was no immediate information on casualties. Speaking in his nightly video address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said while there had been no significant changes on the front line, the key hotspots in Donbas are where very heavy fighting continues. He accused Russia of putting 2,000 convicts, some serving long sentences for serious crimes, on the battlefield. The Shevchenkivsky area, a busy part of Kiev with universities, students, bars and restaurants, was hit by several missiles during the rush hour a week ago as part of a Russian bombardment of Ukraine's major cities after an attack on the strategically important Kerch Bridge that links Russia with the annexed territory of Crimea. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.